You're just a child.
I can remember nearly 1900 years. I am the ghost of Christmas past.
Michael Caine, Frank Oz, Jessica Fox, Meredith Braun, and Robin Weaver, and all the assorted Muppets. 1992, The Muppet Christmas Carol.
You're a little absent-minded spirit.
No, I'm a large absent-minded spirit.
With much gratitude to my brother and his family who bought me this beautiful Star Trek with the rickrack, on the sleeves, gold braids, the Captain Kirk bathrobe for Christmas. So the Muppet Christmas Carol was something I was watching the panel discussion on Nerdrotic, and I don't remember which of the panel live streamers on Friday Night Tights had mentioned it, but they were talking about Christmas movies, and someone said that that was their favorite version of the Christmas Carol, or one of them. Now, I was never a big Muppet fan. I mean, when I was really little, I probably watched a little bit of it. Wasn't really my thing, but I thought, what the heck? I was looking for holiday movies. I went and I rented it. I ended up actually watching it like 4 times during the 48-hour rental. Now, granted, I really watched it once, and then I just kept putting it on in the background when I was doing other stuff, but it was that good. Now, what's interesting is, having not been a fan of the Muppets do a very good job in this. I mean, there's enough lightheartedness, but it doesn't detract from sort of the heaviness at points of the story. They do a nice job with having Gonzo be the narrator with Rizzo the Rat, and actually giving lines directly from the original Charles Dickens novel. In fact, Gonzo plays Charles Dickens, is what they call him throughout it. And they mention a few times when it gets a little bit scary, they actually give you the little aside. What about the kids in the theater? The rat asks, and gets the response, well, this is all right. It's great literature. It's great. It's culture. They do a really amazing job of keeping it both to the original story sufficiently and being a little bit lighthearted, that it is actually very entertaining, and I liked it a lot more than I ever liked anything Muppets. I think the 2 things that really stood out, I was surprised that it was as good as it was, despite Michael Caine in the role as Scrooge. He feels a little wooden at times. I mean, here's a guy that's really famous. He's been around forever and done a ton of stuff. But there are a couple of key moments in the life of Scrooge, the early ones being, is he nasty and crotchety enough? And he doesn't come across that way in the Muppet version. And you think maybe that was part of softening it a little bit for young viewers. But the second key part of Scrooge is the overwhelming joy of finding out that it is still Christmas and he still has time to mend his ways. Alistair Sim's version is the one that stands out to me in 1953, I think. Standing on his head, he's dancing. There's this really overwhelming joy that is captured by him at that moment, and that really does not come out well in Michael Caine's delivery of the character. But still, I would rank it it's probably my second after Alistair Sim, my second favorite version, because the overall ambiance of the costumes and the settings and the way the Muppets do such a good job, and the ghosts are done so well, the spirits of past, present, and future, only one of them, being a Muppet, without too much spoiler, but they really did a good job of keeping those fitting the description that you read in the book, and yet being updated enough. I was kind of surprised it was as long ago as 92, but the special effects surrounding them don't stand out as being bad at all, because they didn't use a lot of it, perhaps. But the the spirit of Christmas Past is the childlike figure. She glows, she floats, is probably the most animated. And then we have a Muppet for the spirit of Christmas Present, and then a really well done creepy creature without being gory or noticeably hideous. They really do a great job on the spirit of Christmas Future. So I just wanted to plug it real quick because I enjoyed it so much. It's probably going to be one of my regular holiday go-to things. I did, given my age, went back and I watched on YouTube. There's a whole collection of the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Frosty the Snowman and all of those good classic sort of stop motion animation sort of cartoons that we grew up with. But I, having been in college at the time and never seen the Muppet Christmas Carol, here I finally watched it and I really liked it a lot. I would highly recommend it as a good, solid holiday movie. And like in my case, even if you're not a big fan of the Muppets, you might be surprised. It's a good flick. So anyway, peace and long life. Thank you for being here. Leave any comments below and I will see you next time.